find it back here.
Excuse me. Could you tell me where the path is? If you could just indicate the general direction back to civilization. I got myself turned around here. Mister? I know you can talk. I heard you yelling at your dog.
Get to it, bitch! Go!
What's his name?
You got $1?
What?
You got $1 on you?
No, I don't. Boy, that's a great turnoff. That really says get out of my face, doesn't it? No, I didn't bring any money with me, really. I was just going for a walk, and I made the mistake of losing the path. You know, I thought I saw a banana slug. They're supposed to be thick up here, but I didn't. And like an idiot, I kept going, and now I'm a little lost. And you can be a little lost. Look, if you could just point out the way, I'll be on my way, and...
You asked the wrong questions, little girl. You know, that purse must be something in it.
You know, my whole life is in it, but I didn't bring any money with me, really. I just have this terrible sense of direction, you know? I tried looking for moss. They're supposed to grow on the north side of the tree so you can use it like a compass. Unfortunately, it's so wet up here, the moss grows all the way around the trees. One for moss. And we have this postcard at the student center where the sun is like shining horizontally into the woods, called Dawn in the Redwoods. It's obviously sunset since the sun doesn't even come out until about after 2. If we're lucky, the fog manages to burn off it all. They are something else though, aren't they? I keep leaning up against them. Maybe I'll draw some strength and perspective or whatever it is I've got. I don't think it's working. You know, this forest is over 20,000 years old. These trees were standing when Egypt built pyramids in the Valley of the Kings. They were the oldest living thing on earth when Jesus was born. Which kind of makes me think, you know, hey, great, one for the redwood. I mean, we are taking early retirement at 55. Thanks a lot, guys. We're getting our revenge, though. Yeah, this whole place is being bought out. They're all coming down. They're all going to be decks and lawn furniture.
Get off, bitch! The beat! Gotcha, bitch! Bitch!
You know, realize I don't even know which way Arcata is. So, like, north, south, east, or west wouldn't have really made much of a difference, right? Or having a compass wouldn't really have helped. Might have kept me from going around in circles. Yeah. Oh, and the labyrinth, you're supposed to take, like, every turn, and every turn will be left, and that'll get you out. I can't wait to try it. That's not exactly the kind of thing that helps you when you're lost in a red forest. Wow. You know, this is the first time I've ever seen one. Also, first time I've been lost in one. One for one.
You won't find your way out from here. You're gonna die here.
Okay. Guess that's possible. There's a first time for everything. Wouldn't be the first time, you know. I was in a bike accident when I was 12. One of my next door neighbors was giving me a joyride on his Harley, and we ran into the side of a truck carrying cantaloupes. I guess he'd been trying to impress his girlfriend. Apparently it worked. She married him. I was on the operating table for 7 hours. My left hip and spine were partially crushed. Only when they gave me the anesthetic, my heart stopped. 22 seconds. I didn't see the little white light at the end of the tunnel. Well, everybody asks. Sometimes I say I did because, you know, if I say I didn't, then they think I wasn't really dead. But I asked my doctor if I really was dead for 22 seconds, and he said, you really were dead for 22 seconds. So I asked him for a death certificate, but he wouldn't give me one. Well, it's malpractice suits, probably. Yeah, I imagine you saw a lot of that, huh? Death?
Shit!
Yeah. You gonna like that joint or what? Oh, hey! What's it, guy? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna break your arm and shake your hand. I'm a black belt in karate.
Ever tell your opponent what he's up against?
Yeah, well, I believe in fair warning.
Don't show your hand!
Just believe it.
What do you want from me?
Hey, look. No, I was just going on a little expedition to look at the plant life. I study botany. Most of the stuff I've never seen before.
Oh, shit, I thought you were looking for slugs.
We don't have redwoods where I live. Or ferns like these, you know? I know the botanical name, I just can't remember it right now. I just know them from these press-like specimens we have in class.
You always carry your purse in the woods.
It was a spur-of-the-moment decision.
You wear sneakers and shorts. You dress like that for a hike.
It was a whim. God, you know, I wasn't like planning to rappel mountains or anything.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I have no idea. I mean,
With
I was just going
your
for
black belt in karate and your sneakers and shorts. You think I'm deaf? Do I look blind to you?
I'm not really putting together what it is you're trying to say.
You've been following me for the past 2 hours.
Well, you know, you were yelling. It was kind of hard not to hear you.
I was standing on G Street. You came out of your yogurt milkshake shop. You followed me a mile up 101. You followed me into the trees. You followed me along the dry creek. You followed me up the hill. You followed me around the Fern Valley. Now you're lost, aren't you? You don't know where the fuck you are.
Well, yeah. Just because I say something doesn't actually mean I mean it. I mean, I'm a terrible liar.
Nobody can lie to me. Can't be lied to if you don't listen.
You did listen, though, I can tell.
I don't hear you, so forget it. I don't hear nobody.
I'll bet you don't either. What do you hear?
Yeah, you got all you college jerks looking in the woods for everybody's plants. Get your neck broke for you is what you're gonna get.
Okay, I don't think I exactly know what you're trying to say here.
You're not dumb. You come in here, think I'm gonna lead you to something. Come back, pull up my plants. Turn in my name. Just go on.
Oh, God, I'm with you. You're talking contraband. Oh, I don't want your marijuana plants if that's what you're talking about. I mean, they'll have to legalize it eventually.
You in school here?
Yeah, they're supposed to have one of the best horticulture departments in the country. Fruit trees and all that, yeah. A little agrarian for what I want, but figure I'll go 2 years transfer.
Let me see your ID.
My what?
Your school ID.
Oh, it's back at the dorm.
Throw it over here.
I don't have it on me.
Give it here. Damn it.
I'm not carrying it, I said. Jesus.
You don't give me your school ID. I'm gonna take the thing away from you.
Okay, you don't frighten me.
Give me your damn purse. Do it!
Okay, you know, just calm down. God, I feel like I'm being carded. Oh, that picture's awful.
California. Whistle a jolly.
Well, you're not Spanish. You must belong to the other half of the country's population. La Jolla is a town north of San Diego. No idea what it means. It may mean jolly. It isn't.
Where's your student ID, Geraldine Lawn?
Jerry, you know, only they wouldn't let me put that on the license.
What kind of name is Lawn?
It's my mother's name. It's Vietnamese. She was gonna call me Pharaoh, which was Dad's name, but she looked it up in the dictionary and it means to give birth to a litter of pigs.
That's over the wallet.
No. Hey, I mean it.
What you got from that school?
Nothing on me? No.
This isn't you. You're now 21. You don't go to that college either. How old are you?
I might have gone to school here. Considered it. You look at all of them. You know, you go to these ridiculously over-endowed campuses in the middle of these poverty-stricken redneck towns, decide you wouldn't go there if it were the last school on earth, and they turn you down anyway. What Humboldt is like really hot for is land management and conservation, which is something I totally respect the shit out of, but it's not me. I have my license back. I came to Arcata to visit a friend of Mom's, his professor. He teaches here. I'm staying with him and his wife.
What's his name?
Oh, you're familiar with the faculty. Dr. Smith. Really, he teaches mathematics. Only not the interesting stuff, not like theory or astrophysics, so he's kind of dry. But his wife is cool.
You make that face on purpose. You thought that was cute.
We were goofing. I don't like to have my picture taken. I mean, you should understand that.
Let me see your wallet.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, hand it here.
No.
Why not?
Because it has all the money I have left in my whole vacation in it.
I can take it away from you.
No, you can't. You really can't. I can run faster than you. Okay, you know, you get around these woods pretty well, but on 101 I could tell you still limp. See, when you're hustling the tourists, you like to tell them you got shot up in Cambodia when really you were passed out in Isaac Minor Alley when Buzz Warren ran his pickup over your foot. He tried to get out of his truck, but your dog nearly took his leg off. Did you know that? Yeah, he had to drive all the way down to Eureka for stitches. Couldn't really go to a doctor because he was sneaking out of the alley after sticking it to Mrs. Reason. Police took you to the emergency room where you basically freaked. Yeah, local skinny Mrs. Smith is very up to speed.
Take out the money. Hand over the wallet.
Well, except for you, that's all she knew about you. Hey! Ow! 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 Oh, hey! You bastard! Okay, you know what? You're killing me. You're squashing my breast, damn it! Ah! Oh, God. Okay, you know what? Just take the money and give me back my wallet. Don't pocket my things.
Jesus Christ, haven't you ever heard of traveler's checks?
Oh, give me back my wallet.
Nice. Are you gonna act nice?
Oh, could you put that some other way? Okay, sure. I'm dead. I told you. I've got a bad back. Okay? I've got a steel rod and a plastic hip. And I can't fight. I weigh 88 pounds. What the hell are you doing? I'm frail, stupid.
I didn't believe you.
Well, that part was true. Okay? Besides, I didn't think you heard anybody. You were too busy marching to the beat of your own drum or something.
You got your whole life in here, huh? I could leave you here, you'd die.
I have an infallible sense of direction. I'm like part cat or something.
Yeah? Which way is Arcata?
About 6 miles that way. Yeah, For the last hour, we've been going around in circles. What? Were you trying to confuse me? I thought you were losing it.
You lie about everything.
Lies? I don't know how lying got such a bad rap anyway. Truth isn't all it's cracked up. Look, it makes me incredibly nervous to see someone pointing it. Can I have that back, really?
I don't believe your reallys anymore.
Oh, you're such a total troll. Yeah, I was embarrassed following you around these woods, stomping around like some kind of rhino or something. God. You don't even feel the enchantment, do you? No. I ought to teach you a lesson. I mean, you've limited yourself to such a physical blundering oafdom, you could sit talking to a sylph and not even know it.
What?
And then, sylph? Actually more of a genie.
In shorts and sneakers.
I just threw something on. You couldn't lose me in these woods. A deer would guide me out. I could make the whole woods vanish if I wanted. If I were in danger, the trees would bend down so I could clasp their highest bough and they'd swing me to safety. Yeah, I'm just lucky you didn't ask me where I keep my pot of gold. When we're helpless, we're compelled to reveal its hiding place.
That's a leprechaun. Who's that?
Me and a couple of girlfriends. Blonde just got married last week. Just like so unbelievable. Since she's the most user-friendly girl in my classes and teacher's bakery, we'll be living there. You can believe it. Would have followed you at all if I'd known you'd pull that Rambo macho crap.
That what?
Don't act like some damn Rambo or something.
You see.
You can't mean it. Willingly trade places with anyone who's never heard that name before. He's this bullshit Marine in the movies, right? He's sent back to Nam like this one-man army to rescue a group of MIAs. And before he leaves, he like this. He says to his captain, "They gonna let us win this time." God, the movie house goes wild. You know, suddenly everyone in the theater realizes The only way our boys could have lost is if somebody wouldn't let them win. We were double-crossed. You've been gone so long, you don't even know you're a hero now. I'm almost forgiven, you know. There's no Vietnam War syndrome anymore. All luck's and free, we win. God makes you wonder about all the wonderful wars we've won.
What's that?
My mother.
Pretty.
I'll tell her. Okay, do you mind? That's the woman who bought me from my real mother. Not a bad investment, but she has a nose for that sort of thing. It turned out to be this world-class piano prodigy, probably worth a fortune. Of course, she's a billionaire. Money means nothing to those people. If you believe that, she has a bridge she'd like to sell you. She is my adopted mother, my foster mother, whatever. She's my mother. I'm just not related to her.
Who's this then?
That's my real mother, only I've never met her.
Are you gonna tell her I said she was pretty?
Okay, I won't. Julia's husband, Laird Alfred Leslie Reardon. Alfred Leslie because he claimed to be related to the composer Eric Alfred Leslie Satie. He was my foster father. Died 2 years ago. Taught me all the usual parlor tricks, play an instrument, jump through hoops, roller skate, all the things that kept people entertained at dinner so he could concentrate on his drinking. He's the only desk jockey lieutenant, didn't see a day's worth of fighting to come completely unglued in the war. Came back and drank himself totally into the toilet. Boy lives across the street.
Your boyfriend?
Seriously frowned on for nymphs to get involved with mortals. It's been known to happen, but the effects are inevitably a disaster. Can happen.
Who's the GI?
I think that's you. You're so small in the picture, you can't really tell, can you? Taken 17 years ago in Saigon. Private Ray Farrow. You signed the papers for Mother and me to get out, letter of intent, whatever. And at about the same time we got on a boat, you hopped on a train north of San Francisco. The last anyone's ever heard from you was 4 years ago in Auckland. You weren't carrying an ID, but they knew you from your description. Sheriff told you to get out of town, said you hadn't shaved for a month, looked like a good candidate for the Redwood Curtain. You can't mess around in Auckland, you know, that's wine country. They run them out of town.
Not me. I didn't fraternize.
Is that what they call it?
I didn't go with prostitutes.
Mother owned a florist shop in Saigon.
Pretty stupid to leave that.
With me on the way.
Oh, good move.
Yeah, they'd have killed her probably. Imagine she'd seen what they did to those who fraternized with the French. I mean, she's probably done well here.
Tried to stiff bargain.
Cookie.
Hard as nails.
Inscrutable.
Where is she now?
No idea.
Why me?
I thought I recognized you.
You even know your dad?
I thought you recognized me.
I never saw you before.
Neither has my father. I don't think he knows I exist. Day before yesterday, you were standing on the street with your dog. We passed each other. You looked right into my face. I think you saw it then. I did.
So what?
Look into my eyes.
Come on!
What's the matter?
I saw the cheating stuff over there.
I come from a very magical culture. Okay, don't look down. What do you see? I control the elements. I could gather the clouds out from far off to sea and pile them over these woods. I could call upon the air for violence and destruction. I could will it to rain or thin the turbulence. Send the clouds back out over the ocean and form the sun to burn through the fog and warm the earth. I could tell the birds to fly off into the trees of the vineyards that surround the valley and leave the woods to just two of us. So for the eagle, he protects me, he'll stay. Don't you know whom you're dealing with? What's your name?
One of your eyes is gray.
Almost blue.
The other one is just normal black. Goop guy, the other one is gray.
That occurs once in 10 million. Same odds as the lottery.
With mixed blood, you're liable to get anything.
Hey, what about you? Your eyes are dull, aren't they? They've seen a lot, haven't they? But they're still discernible. See, one of
but not so anybody would notice.
Oh, no, Americans don't look each other straight in the eye for all our straightforwardness. I mean, you have to be close to see it, and I did.
You consider yourself American.
Kidding? I was adopted into one of the former top 10 California families. I just don't know where I was born. Somewhere in the old country to an estranged mother and father wandering around Eureka, California with one brown eye and one blue.
Not me.
How much do you remember?
Not a lot, too much, not everything.
A young woman named Lily?
I didn't mess with the locals much. You couldn't trust them.
I wonder why.
Didn't care.
Look, let me see your ID.
I don't care anymore.
Sure you do.
I'm not your dad. Don't worry about it.
What's your name? Do you know?
What was his?
I told you. Ray Farrow.
Say it again.
Ray Farrow?
No.
Did you know him?
I wouldn't remember. What division was he in?
Infantry.
I was a combat engineer.
What did they do?
Blow up bridges. Said I wanted engineering. He said, great. Combat engineering, blow up everything an engineer builds.
Oh, his father wanted to build things. You studied architecture.
No!
What then?
I don't know, kid.
Okay, where was school?
I don't think about it.
Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Okay, what kind of car did you drive around the town square? Who were the girls that wouldn't let you in? You joined the army because they told you to choose your own training.
Some joker came to our school, said enlist for 3 years, choose your AIT.
Where? What rank were you?
E4, special engineer.
Where are you from?
It doesn't matter now. I don't remember.
Nobody knows much about you, or any of you. As long as maybe you don't murder them all in their beds and just count their blessings. You see homeless people, but you guys wandering Arcata and Eureka are different, aren't you? I mean, God, Eureka, is that ever wrong? What's Greek for I've lost it? I asked this reporter from the Arcadia Union this, how many of you guys from Vietnam have drifted up here, hiding up behind the Redwood Curtain? They didn't even have a good estimate. Somewhere between 3,000 and 8,000. A lot of latitude there. See, all of you just move through town. All of you ghosts, specters, wandering around the streets, working odd jobs once a month, half pie half the time, eating out of garbage pails on what you can hunt. Probably good hunters. Maybe you have a shack out here, a little piece of tin to keep the rain off you of your dog, and you wouldn't be cold with all those clothes on. One of the guys I asked why so many of you come here said it's a lot like Vietnam.
Oh.
It's beautiful. It's quiet, down. The smell. Actually, a lot of them have said that. I've been looking for you for a long time.
Sorry. Grew up in a city. No small town. No town square. Go on now. Tell you something. Arcade is straight that way. Just take off, okay? Go on. Keep walking against the sun.
The sun that I caused to shine.
The fog burns off about this sign every day.
Okay, just straight that way, huh? You really say that? Boy, just keep walking, huh? What if I didn't really know? I would trust you. I would go that way. I'd get lost. Well, would that make your day or something, knowing I was walking around the woods lost at night, something you and your dog could giggle over, I guess?
You leave. I'll never think another thing about it. I'll forget I ever saw you in 10 minutes. Guaranteed.
Really that way, huh? Do you care that little about people, or do you just not retain things?
Fine! Whatever. It's the way you said, down there, just go on.
I don't know. Maybe you were shell-shocked or something. It clearly affected your mind somehow. You're not what anyone would call remotely normal.
Yeah. What's normal?
No. Normal. I'm sorry. Something far less of a sociopath. I mean, forgive me if that comes as a surprise to you.
It's too damn cold. And it's too damn hot. Fry your ass, boil or something. Hot as hell in here and still wet.
Oh my God, oh Lord.
What? What now? Just go on,
You tell me who
please.
you are. Tell
say you're fine, I'll believe you're fine, but you do not look fine at all. Honey, sit that up, love. I'm surprised you're not frozen. This isn't La Jolla. All right, you were in the woods. Some man was in the woods and he fainted. What did he do? Jump out from behind a tree and yell boo? I'm trying to construct some plausible scenario here. Oh, I hope to hell this wasn't another one of your father candidates. You know how I feel about that. God, there is nothing more exasperating than a 17-year-old genius who thinks she can take care of herself. Your mother would literally kill me. She would grill me and serve me on toast at one of her luncheons, and I deserve it. Alone at night in the woods, accosted by a man.
I wasn't accosted. Auntie Eva, I am fine.
I don't suppose you struck out with the intention this morning of hiking to some tourist trap t-shirt emporium in the middle of the forest. What if you were another 15 minutes? They would have closed and gone home. Oh, just be thankful they have a phone, not all of them do.
Sorry if I made you worry.
Actually, we didn't think anything about it. We thought you were at the movies and they went out for another hour. Barney left just before you called. Some last-ditch effort with the lawyers, alas. Well, then he'd be stripping his secretary. It'd be a lot less waste of time. God knows she needs it. You know what? It's not in his nature, though. He actually puts sex in the same category as exercise. Too little reward for such a great effort. That was a joke. I'm trying to remember this one's name, the lawyer. He already said we lost the company. Actually, it's refreshing to hear a lawyer tell the truth. Oh, God, we've tried everything legal there was to try. The judges just struck us down. That outfit's going to come through here and clear-cut every tree in sight. They're going to come through here with buzzsaws. God, I can feel the trees screaming at me. Oh, can you use some of your magic to save them?
I could. I would have stopped you from cutting them down a long time ago. They're just trees. I don't know what you're so scared of. They won't bite you.
They could fall on me. I've always felt perfectly safe in the woods, but I knew for sure they were mine.
It's not your fault if you lose them.
I know that, but do they? Dad taught Laird and me how to drive on this road before it was paved in a 52 Packard. That was an old car, you understand? You know, I think I'll be after a spot of tea. How does that strike you?
Bed, maybe.
Are you being glum and sulky? Or are you not really feeling well? I don't want you to get sick your last day here.
I'm angry. I'm disappointed in myself.
Well, I'm almost never what I hope I'll be.
My shoulder hurts. I think I fell on it funny.
God, nobody ever faints anymore. I don't think I have. Well, I passed out cold once in the back seat of a car, but I was drunk. 4 men in that car, not one of them took advantage of me. You know, I haven't always been this beautiful. What is the sensation?
Kind of like spacing. I tried to sit down so I wouldn't fall. I don't think I made
Are
it.
you hungry? Take a hot bath and I'll have Matilda bring the tea to your room. Matilda, Matilda, she took me money and we did a new book. I could not hear her name without thinking of that.
Oh, she wouldn't dare.
Oh, well, she could think of a way. Well, why didn't you buy a sweatshirt in that place? You could have kept warm at least.
Ah, the bastard stole my wallet.
Jerry, before you do anything, you call your mother and have her call the credit card people.
Julia would love that.
Oh, God, I'm sure she'll blame. You know what? On second thought, call your mother's secretary. Her whole purpose in life seems to be lying to keep you out of trouble anyway.
What did he think? He couldn't possibly use them.
He could sell them. Or he could throw them away and someone else could find them. Take a hot bath and I'll start the tea. And do not get exposure or anything. I don't know how to treat it.
I'm fine now. What are you doing in here?
Don't turn it off. This is the best part.
Thanks.
Oh, God, I get goosebumps every time I hear it.
I dropped the F natural at the end of the last word.
God, what was that note?
There are a lot of them.
The one you keep repeating. But you know what I'm talking about. Oh, but I have become so sensitized to that note that I can pick it out in the whole run. Which is what Beethoven intended, I'm sure, especially the way he played it.
No one, Geneva.
Just that one note.
Bong, bong. God, why anyone would want to be involved with music, even peripherally, is beyond me. Nobody ever listens. We go to the opera, everybody's asleep. Music is like Ovaltine to them. Mother had all these intellectual types over one weekend. All they could talk about was this concert. Zubin Mehta was guest conductor and live from London or something. And they all know him, of course. So they go into the TV room, they turn on the TV, and they start with, oh, he's let his hair grow. Just looks so distinguished. I love his tails. And then they go into the architectural detail of Albert Hall, which they didn't like, and you couldn't see anyway, and the music they've heard there, and how foul the food was during the interval, and then all the music they've heard all over Europe, and finally, the food they've had there, and then just about the food. They did not hear a single note of music.
You should have taped it.
The point was to hear it live from London. Besides, I don't know how to work that VCR. The only time I got it to record anything, I set it to record Cheers. I came home, I had taped an entire Yankees-Oakland game. And the A's literally cleaned New York's clock, but, the program was mostly Mahler, which is not my idea of a fun evening.
You are sounding bitter.
Damn right I'm bitter. I practiced like a dog for 12 years, yet exercised to tears over some nuance of theory, for God's sakes, or something nobody even hears. That's a rip-off. Do you know what the average number of playing times for a CD is? No, you don't. I just read it somewhere. Even pop records. The average number of playing times for a record is 1 time and a quarter. And they want me to spend an entire week locked up in some studio going over and over the Goldberg variations like we really needed another recording of that? Forget it.
Is that a good show, Cheers?
I love it. But I intend to marry Ted Danson. Do they really serve food during intermission at Albert Hall?
I imagine.
So typical. It's all Julie and her friends ever talk about. During breakfast, they start planning lunch. During lunch, they start talking about dinner. She had this winner of a National Book Award, this genius painter, a physicist, a critic, God knows how many musicians she could actually learn something from, sitting in a room arguing, and almost blows over the best recipe for crepe.
Which Mahler?
It's the 7th in the E minor, like insult to injury.
Is that why you're not practicing so much lately?
Not practicing at all, ever again.
I can remember that you would have done a whole hour of scales by this time.
I thought I'd spare you.
You always liked this piano. Maybe we should trade. It really belonged to your dad, but you're the only one that ever plays it. If you like it better.
I don't want any of them. Leave it here.
God, my best memory of this room is coming in here with breakfast at the crack of dawn and watching you play. Your dad conducting with a cigarette, counting at the time like a metronome.
Cigarette in one hand and a bottle of white wine in the other. And he had to get to Laird before noon. His day was usually over at about lunchtime.
I've always liked scales and exercises. I always have. Sound of industry, maybe?
You pushing it? You love the sawmill?
I love the smell, not the noise.
If you don't know that I quit, totally quit, you must be the only person in the entire nation because Julia's not broadcasting it. She doesn't care, of course, except mixed for thrilling conversation. I'm gonna go to Paris and, study cooking, learn how to do something people understand.
It seems you've recovered from your ordeal in the forest.
That was my fault. I have to get ready. Some of the guys are going down to the river.
Wow. Who was this he that caused you to faint, huh? You were following another one of your gray eminences, weren't you? Jerry, we cannot have you harassing those men.
I don't.
You do too, and it's cruel. Also, you don't know when one might be dangerous. Most of those men are army men, trained at great expense to be homicidal. All right, who are you this time, huh? I think of them all, I like the anarchist foreign exchange student from the Philippines trying to recruit a network of underground spies.
Moguls.
God, how you get them to talk to you, I'll never know. They won't to most people.
Well, most people don't want them to.
Oh, no, honey, that doesn't wash. I've said to it several times. They don't even look at me. No. God, you draw them out. You get them to talk about their lives, their war experiences, which is something clearly they don't want to remember, or else they wouldn't be there. Hello. Do you know my real father? His name is Ray Farrell. He has eyes like mine that don't match. I cannot leave you alone for 5 minutes. You got another one cornered. It isn't fair to Julia. It's an insult to Laird. I know you don't see it that way, but Julia would shit a brick.
Yeah, well, Julia isn't my mother.
You drive me crazy. Okay, if Julia isn't your mother, and Laird isn't your father, I'm not your aunt. You must be some penniless little waif in some Dickensian orphanage. You've got to take her as she comes, and she would shit a brick.
Oh, but she's so uptight she shits at the least breach of etiquette. And you could build a small village with a brick's mother shack. It was bad enough when, like, Laird was alive and she would pretend he wasn't falling down drunk all the time, and that took effort. Just, there's nothing of her in me at all. She's a fabulous mother.
She lets you do anything you damn well please.
It's not all that weird to wonder who I am, is it?
You're very lucky. You know, most kids don't have proof when they feel that there's been some tragic mix-up in the hospital and the people they're living with can't possibly be their real parents. You at least know you're adopted. I mean, that should be some consolation.
It isn't.
I don't know. I've watched you almost month by month develop into such a fine, talented young woman. God, you and Laird both working so hard. You know what? You weren't even 5 yet, and he knew you were going to be better than he even dreamed of being. By the time you were 7, any fool could see it. I feel I know you so well. I don't understand why you don't know yourself. You're deliberately moving away from us. I expect any day now you to be spouting Vietnamese and wearing a kimono.
Oh, they don't wear kimonos. I know too much already. I don't even know how I know it. A father over there literally owns his family. He could sell them if he wanted to.
Oh, how much we could get from you.
The whole family answers to the father. Father answers only to the Mandarin. Mandarin answers only to the emperor. I think I'm Mandarin.
Go for emperor.
It's just so scary, you know? It's like something just slams into my head, or I just know, or I hear something. Good conduct is learning to do exactly what your father did. Every movement a perfect repetition of his. Answer to your father before you. And you know, I think, A, that's crock, and B, and we're wondering why all these Vietnamese kids are looking for their fathers. Wake up and learn something, God. And C, where the hell did that come from? And I appreciate that information a hell of a lot, but I don't know what my father did before me, so like, bugger off, okay? Or like, I'll just hear. If you do everything correctly, which is the way it's always been done, I suppose, to like the last detail, then you'll be content. Fields will prosper, the weather will be fair, calm will prevail.
I don't understand those race cultures.
Obviously not. They're selling everything their ancestors have done down the toilet.
The hell I am. We have spent a fortune fighting those SOBs.
I don't care. Okay, do what you have to do. Who am I? How do I follow my father's footsteps? Do I go to the war, come back, and drink myself under the table every night like Laird? Or, being a woman, be like Julia, and drag my sable from one board meeting to the next, dropping $100,000 to every charity that licks my ass?
Jerry, please. It's every charity that kisses your ass, not licks your ass.
Yeah, I like the sound. Calm will prevail.
Well, that's a definite ring.
I was talking to the man Buzz Warren ran over in the alley.
Good Lord, John Doe, no wonder you fainted.
He has a name.
He doesn't know it. Elaine said he doesn't even know his name. He mumbled and he jumbled and he left before they could set his foot properly.
He talks fine, he's just very private.
That's clear, I think.
And no teeth. I don't blame him.
How much money did you give him?
I did not
What
give
were
him
you carrying?
$600.
If you were going home tomorrow, I would send you back anyway.
I wasn't planning on fainting. Yeah, I must have been the sun. I'm so eager to flaunt my powers. I must have banished every trace of cloud cover. I got hot as the devil in there.
That was you? I had to turn on the air conditioner. Julia really needs to talk to you about managing your money.
I already know from her example. Unless they're willing to name a building after you, never under any circumstances let go of a single nickel.
No, for entertainment, we went roller skating. For mental stimulation, we read a good book. It was always a good book. We never said, I'd like to curl up with just a book. He is absolutely the last one you talk to.
Okay.
I mean it. What's his name?
And tell me. He blew up bridges. I think it destroyed his hearing.
God, that's the least of his afflictions. But you don't wear earplugs? I mean, you can't just stand there and watch the thing blow
He's
up.
growing hot out in your woods.
Oh, and did he give you any for your trouble? A very good time should just come out of those woods. I've stumbled across farms of it. I was carrying David. God, it could have been more than 2. I came across this clearing, and there was this little house, a very big man, an even bigger dog, and a shotgun. I said, Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the river. I turned around and went home, thank you, expecting with every step to be shot in the back of the head. That is another reason why I don't want you wandering around over there. Also, they don't belong to us anymore. We don't belong there. It feels good to say that. You know, I don't have a memory. There is not a single family story that isn't connected to those woods. If I'm not a lumberjack, I don't know what the hell I am.
We're never going to finalize the sale.
Takeover. We were never for sale. There was never any damn sale.
Yeah, but you know how lawyers are. You know, they'll drag it out for centuries. You know it.
While you were getting your beauty sleep, we caved in or bit the bullet.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's over.
I mean, Julia always said not to say anything because you couldn't possibly win, and I'm so used to you fighting them.
No more, honey, and don't get used to things. We signed our names with a flourish on 100 lines. I've never been so angry or felt so impotent. Barney, chain smoking. He kept saying, I know you hate the smoke, but I cannot not smoke right now. God, he feels he let the family down. You know what? They let themselves down going public in the first place. Who ever heard of a takeover back then? And everyone kept saying that this will still be just a small family concern. Some bastard offers you twice what the stock price is, and all your buddies on the board fall all over each other to be first in line. You know, you think they'd be disappointed to discover that they have their price? Hell no. They're not lumbermen anymore. They're moguls.
You'd be pretty well compensated, though.
The point isn't the money, honey. The point is that some no-name gasket company from Pittsburgh and some CEO from Houston can take over a 120-year-old family company and trash it.
How much will you be getting?
Well, it's been reported in every paper across the country. We're getting 20% of the holdings. They're getting $700 million, $50 a share.
140 million?
Hardly, honey. Taxes to death. We're getting less than half that.
Oh, a lousy $60 million.
What are we going to do with money like that? We're not your mom and her jet-set crowd. And it isn't enough. Oh, I could say I cared for 100,000 acres of redwood forest, the oldest living trees. I was on a damn float in the parade when I was 10, dressed like a shepherdess with hundreds of little knee-high trees all around me. Shepherdess of the redwoods. Well, I felt like shepherdess of the redwoods. I can't expect a damn wood nymph to understand that, but I did. You know, we cut those trees so conscientiously, everyone in town said we were too conservative. Even the damn Sierra Club approved. We harvested trees. My great-great-grandfather planted. God, those guys just borrowed all that money. And they're going to cut it all down. You can't manage a forest from debt. You know what? The environmentalists are going to have a field day. Oh, God, the fertilizer's going to hit the old fan.
Maybe the new manager won't be that bad.
The man is from Texas. There's not a tree in the state. No. Prosperity for 10 years, and then this bird will be in ghost town.
You always knew it was coming, though. I mean, you always said you couldn't possibly win, and you haven't set foot in that forest since the company made their first bid.
Well, it's not my problem anymore, nor Barney's. To hell with all of them. You know, it's very easy to be a success in this world, Jerry. All you have to do is change your goals.
Maybe it was just time to retire.
You know what? No one likes it when you take the devil's advocate position, Jerry. And it isn't about the money. If I wanted to be rich, I could be rich. You get a job in a security exchange house. You practice insider trading. You make $800 million. You get caught, you get convicted. You spend $500 million in fines and taxes. You spend 5 years in jail, you get out in 2. I don't know any man under the age of 30 that wouldn't spend 2 years in jail for $300 million. And I don't like the way you throw around phrases like it's time for you to retire. Those bastards are cutting me off at the roots. They're throwing me out of my own damn house.
You wouldn't leave Arcata.
Oh, look at the front lawn. Assignment up this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the brunt of all the local indignation when the boom busts. You know what? The real estate doughboy was literally salivating. He said, let's just keep this listing between ourselves. I said, no way. I want the whole state of California to know I'm out of here. Put a sign with a finger on it.
You can't leave.
Just watch me.
I spent the entire year waiting to come up here.
Honey, you'll love Key Biscayne.
No, I hate Key Biscayne. You hate Key Biscayne.
Tough. Barney loves it. He thinks he's a deep-sea fisherman. He said I could pick out land south of Eureka, but no. You know what, it's gonna be nice to sit on my butt and not panic every time I smell smoke, or looking to the sky to see if it's gonna rain, wondering if it's going to be too showy for this town if I buy a new chauffeur or a new car. I'm going where everyone has money and no one has an attack if they spend it. I don't care how that sounds, we've done a good job.
If I can't come here, I'll never find him. This one's really not like the others.
Do you think you can manage breakfast before you hit the river?
No.
Jerry, no, you are not going to go looking for him, or any of them. They don't want it. It isn't fair. You're setting yourself up for another disappointment.
How do you know he doesn't want it?
Does he present an invitation to society in your view?
I don't know, maybe he just doesn't know.
No, honey, sweetie, thank you. My own brother came back from that war totally wacko. Laird never drank before the war, and if you're going to visit us, we have to be responsible for you. You are not just some curious old tomboy. You're rather special, you know. You're one of the most promising pianists that we produce in this country.
My decision on that is absolutely final.
You have a talent like that, you have no choice but to practice it.
That's a Protestant work ethic. It has nothing to do with being Asian.
Crazy.
I might as well give up magic while I'm at it. What has it got me except for being the adopted daughter of a wealthy family that lets me do anything I please?
This isn't funny. You know, Julia really would just let you throw it all away, right? God, I could just shake her. And I can't wait to tell her that you've decided to become a cook.
Oh, yeah. As long as it doesn't inconvenience her summers in Italy, my schedule is getting a little heavy for her.
She said you haven't practiced in 2 months. You haven't even touched the piano since you've been here. I've waited every morning listening to hear you play. Did you cancel the recital in Chicago?
Yes. And the recording session, all of it.
Are you tired?
I am not tired, okay? I've just had it. And I don't think it's at all sick or unusual or egocentric to want to be normal or be liked or appreciated in something.
Honey, you're appreciated enormously.
I am not appreciated. I'm special. Okay, every time I walk out on stage, isn't she tiny? Isn't she just adorable? She's a Vietnam War bastard, you know. She has no idea who her mother and father are. Aren't we lucky one of them turned out to be so special? Sonny's Pascal wanted to call my album America's Children. See, and I don't see why having that talent or that gift, even if it is for just sticking at something and sitting on my rear end and practicing, which is all I have anyway, yeah, I have a tolerance for repeating scales and exercises ad nauseum, okay? Apparently I enjoy my fingers swelling and my nails bleeding and walking around with Band-Aids over my fingers. I don't see why someone with that gift or curse or liability, it's like you can only be given something, even of whatever questionable value, if you're simultaneously eviscerated of everything anyone holds real or worthy or admirable or worthwhile. It's like, I don't see why someone like that has to be treated like some kind of freak of nature, like they have 7 arms, like Shiva, or how many arms he has, and tiptoed around like they were maimed or consumptive or invalid or special in some ways. See, I don't want to be special.
You're special, Jerry.
I know I am.
Honey, let me drive you.
No.
No! Oh.
Mrs. Smith?
I think my niece was possibly rude to you yesterday and owes you an apology. She's not here right now, so maybe you'll accept mine. And I also believe that you inadvertently took something that belongs to her.
Your husband, Dr. Smith,
No.
teach arithmetic at the school.
My husband drives to the mill once a month, and he gets out of his car, walks through with the grin on his face and says, "Looking good, boys, looking good, boys." He gets back in his car, drives home and says, "It's looking good, Jenny." He also pays the bills and writes the checks. Actually, I'm on my way out, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You know this girl?
That's my niece,
What's her name?
Jerry Reardon. It's probably in there.
That her mother?
Oh, Jerry, what have you been doing? No, that is a photograph of a Chinese film star. Jerry doesn't even know her name. No, that isn't her mother. She's a rather eccentric sense of humor.
That her foster dad?
Yes.
Drink himself to death?
Laird was my brother. He came back from the war rather troubled. You might understand that or not.
Count the money.
It's fine, I'm sure.
Count the money!
remarkable to get that much cash back.
Where would I break a $50 bill?
Oh, come now, Mr. Doudna. Let's not thrash around that bush, shall we? There's 10 bars in Arcata that would happily serve a baboon for the price of a drink. And if you're hinting about a reward, I think that is the most ludicrous suggestion I've ever heard.
You let her follow people around town. You let her walk around town with money like that.
Thank you for returning this. She'll be very happy to get it back.
Did she ever tell the truth? She telling the truth when she said her dad was to Vietnam.
Is that your dog in my dahlias? What's her name?
Hey! Hey! Get! Get! I call her bitch.
I have a friend that would say droll. I guess it's in the tone of voice. Listen, I don't know what Jerry has been telling you. She comes here for the month. She does every June since she was 12. She has a habit of talking to strangers.
She told me she'd never seen the trees before.
Like I said, she visits every summer.
She said her dad's name was Ray Farrell.
No, I am not going to get into this with you. I'm sorry for any inconvenience that Jerry has caused you. And I'm sorry about your hearing. You cope very well.
You're okay.
I understood you blew up bridges in the war.
Yeah?
And it impaired your hearing.
You wear plugs. Put these on the dog and don't wear them anymore.
You put your dog tags on your dog. That's very clever. Is this you? Lyman Fellers? Please have a seat.
I'm fine.
You didn't tell Jerry your name.
It doesn't matter.
It matters a hell of a lot to her. What did she tell you?
She's looking for her dad.
God, all of them are, aren't they? Half of America is looking for their fathers. You see it on television all the time. Hopelessly young, arrogant men and women claiming their right to know their biological parents no matter what cost to everyone else. Julia said you'd turn up one day. They spotted you in Hopland a few years back. They gave us a general description of you. Julia nearly died. That's the only reason Jerry comes here. He's systematically interviewing all of you throughout the whole great Northwest Territory. As every summer since she was 12. God, I'm not ready for this. I should tell you that Jerry's mother gave her up for adoption the moment she set foot in this country. God, Jerry was less than a month old. The only information we had of you was that the father was a serviceman named Farrell with one brown eye. Well, I knew that, didn't I? One brown eye and one blue eye and a tattoo of an eagle on his arm, and I'll take that on faith. She gave her name as Lily Long, and upon subsequent investigations, that information proved her... Why am I talking like this? The name Lily Long was a phony. We always thought the description of you was so far-fetched that you were a figment too. Laird laughed. Jerry bought it, of course. I guess I would too, if that's all I had. She's been well loved and cared for, and as it happens, she's one of the most promising pianists come down the pike in a hell of a long time. Right now, she's off of music. I don't know what the hell she wants.
She's not looking at schools.
No. All she cares about is finding herself. I thought we did away with that in the 60s. This is tragic. Excuse me, but your timing couldn't be worse.
She knows plants.
What?
She studies plants.
I don't know what she's told me. You shouldn't listen.
She said her dad grew up in a small town.
We don't know that. She guesses as much as she knows.
She said her mother owned a flower shop in Nam.
Her mother was a child of 14 or 15, you may well know that. She barely spoke English. My brother and his wife gave the girl $25,000 for Jerry. It was definitely a legal adoption if you want to make something of that. It just wasn't through the usual channels. The usual channels are too slow for Julia.
Shrewd cookie, hard as nails.
I suppose if the father showed up and waived all claims and agreed not to see Jerry again, he could get that much. Possibly a great deal more. I can give you a number you can call.
Built stuff.
I'm sorry?
Jerry said her dad was studying to be a builder.
We don't know that. We don't know anything about what her natural father did.
I wanted to build things.
I don't know what to say. I'm going to kill her. What is it that you want? What do you want?
You tell your niece not to talk to strangers.
Your putative father and bitch drop by the house. Get your stuff together and let's get out of here. You know, this coffee house refuses to serve me. I sat here once for half an hour and no one paid me the time of day.
They don't have table service, you have to go to the counter.
God, I'm too old to live in a college town.
What did he tell you?
Well, he showed me his dog tags, which is probably the only identification he has. You got that man so confused, he doesn't know if he's your father or
Oh, I
not.
think he is. What's his name?
If I told you it was nothing like Ray, would you still try to find him?
Are you crazy?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, well, he was obviously skulking around the house. He showed up the moment you left. That was all I had to do, not to push the panic button and call Julia. It took me a whole hour to pull myself together to try and find him.
What?
You are not to go see that man unless I'm there. I drove through every street and alley and arcade. I put 90 miles on the car. Oh, and I saw one of your swimming buddies in town.
I didn't go swimming.
I realized that. I went to the shelter and I asked the lady if she'd seen John Doe, and she said, Jerry was just asking about him. And did you find him?
No. I think he went back into the woods.
No, I can't do it. I can't go back in there. His name is Lyman Fellers.
Lyman Fellers? Okay, I don't care. He has a tattoo of an eagle on his arm.
10,000 soldiers must have that tattoo. Did you tell him about that too?
No.
It doesn't matter, I did. Is that a map?
Yeah, I think we were here, and the closest we could drive to is over here.
That is on the other side of Fern Valley. I cannot tramp through the woods dressed like this.
Oh, you know the way better than I do. It's not that far. If we go back to the house, you're going to want to change clothes. You're going to want to leave a note for Barney. I'm going. You can take me or not.
I'm exhausted. Is there sugar in that? Child, why you want your father to be someone
I
like
don't
that?
want it or not. I just think it's true. Don't you feel it? That completely inhuman, asocial behavior? Wandering around by myself, shut up in a 2x4 rehearsal space, 8 hours a day. Not believing anything anyone says to me, having so few friends.
Whose fault is that?
Maybe it's his.
And no, I don't feel it. You're an artist. Artists are crazy.
Oh. No more.
Did you actually follow him through the woods?
Oh, maybe he'd sing to himself or whistle or something.
God, this is going to kill me. If this doesn't kill me, Julia will kill me. Well, did he whistle?
I knew I was following him.
I whistle. I've been known to sing to myself. You know what? Julia played the piano. David
Hey,
thinks he can
Julia
play
has
guitar.
never touched that piano in her life. That was Laird's piano.
You were brought up in a household that appreciates music. Some things are learned.
Some things are not. Hello? Hello? What did he tell you his name was?
Lyman Fellers.
Mr. Fellers? Mr. Fellers! No sign of him at all.
This is ripping my heart out.
Oh God, I wasn't thinking. Did we walk too fast?
You unfeeling little wretch. I'm as strong as a horse. In fact, most of my friends think I look just like a horse. No, I don't care if you don't get women. I can run you around these woods 10 times. Oh, God, they're not mine anymore. You know, I'm seeing them. I'm walking through them. This is just ripping my heart out.
No. Hey, but they didn't fall on you.
Oh, God. Is this where he was?
Yeah. You know, he has been through everything in here. Everything's been taken out, put back in the opposite place. God, maybe he's dyslexic on top of everything else. He's even been to the secret compartment.
What do you got in there?
Nothing. What's the point? Every wallet has one. My library ID, my note from Tom.
What did he mean, dear Jerry? Thanks for the heart attack, love, Tom.
See, I knew that was you. That just burns me up. Okay, Tom did not want to take this away. Complain of a pain in your chest, she'll give you an EKG. The EKG will show you have a fluttering heart, and that will excuse you from his blood.
Does he have a fluttering heart?
Of course not. I just gave him the fluttering heart while he was having EKG.
Does any of your sorcery or geniness get you anything worthwhile? Oh, like learning a new mazurka or doubling your considerable fortune?
No. I think it's supposed to guide me, and it's not doing a very good job.
God, this is a beautiful spot. Dad used to carry me through here on his shoulders. I'm just being bombarded with memories of... Are you pulling some fairy dust number on me or something? Because I'm feeling very weird here.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you better think of what you're going to say to him if he shows up. The man's obviously been mulling over every stupid thing you've told him. Dr. Smith, Geraldine Lawn, my mother sold flowers?
She did.
How do you know? Oh, not going to ask you because all you'll say is, I never know.
Hey, I don't. Mr. Fellers! What if he isn't? That would be worse than if he were. I mean, he said he never fraternized. You'd expect a man to remember if he got laid.
Oh, Jerry.
And his name is wrong.
Lyman Feller. No, we've known about that name for years.
We have?
Your people, the agency, whatever you want to call them, the ones that hunt down children's parents. They must have told you about the man in Hopwood.
Had to be Ray Farrow. Who else would look like that? But he didn't have an ID on him.
No, Julie and Larry just saw that his name got lost in the report.
What was his name then?
The man from Hopwood, your buddy, Lyman Fellers.
Well, that's wrong unless I've been lied to all my life.
Oh, God, you nothing poetic justice. No. We've told you everything, what your natural mother said, that's the point. Have you ever met Suki Sati? She's the secretary of the Home Improvement Association of Key Biscayne.
No.
Oh, God. Wonderful Japanese lady. Okay. One Christmas, they have this lobster Yuletide pig-out dance, like a Tex-Mex luau. David and Sharon were going to go, but they were having one of their biennial grapples. I was on the phone with Suki, and I said it's going to be pretty useless to expect them to come or even come together. She sighed and said, rubber squirrel. We adored her. Well, I never understood half of what she said, and you know me, I never listen to anyone, really. So I said, fine, whatever. Okay, I'm driving naturally. I'm on the Rickenbacker Causeway. All of a sudden, I start laughing so hard, I have to pull over and get us both killed. Barney. I explained it to him. Maybe you had to be there. He still doesn't get it.
Get what?
Jerry, they were having a rubber squirrel. Lovers quarrel.
It's an area of humor I've never really responded to.
God, your brain has gone to pulp. You are stomach lover sometimes, honey. Lovers quarrel. Rubber squirrel. Lyman Fellers. Ryman.
Raymond Farrow? Oh, but that is really reaching.
Nevertheless, I am sure that's what Mr. Fellers has been thinking of. God, I'm sure he's heard his name pronounced that way over there plenty of times. You know what? When Julia heard it, it scared her spitless.
Yeah, guess what? Scandal, blackmail, bribery.
This isn't funny. She was afraid of losing you. God, that's why she's so damned overprotective. You're the only thing she has that she couldn't bear to lose.
Oh, that has to be underscored with like Mendelssohn or something. Lyman Fellers. Really made me my father then?
I get the impression he's not going to admit it. And if that is his game, fine. You see if you can get any information out of him about the circumstances surrounding your birth. You apologize for messing up his mind, and we're getting out of here.
If he's my father, I'm not just going to leave him here.
If that's what he wants, he certainly will.
It's not what he wants.
You don't know that.
I do too.
You do not.
I do too!
Oh my God, you... Ugh. Julia will kill me. She will have you far away from Raymond Farrow if she can get you. Rome. God, the smell out here. God, they're just going to mow it all down. Might as well know that I told him it would be worth a lot of money if he just disappeared.
What?
Well, it will be.
Do you have any idea what this means to me?
Honey, I was thinking what it means to us.
What did he say?
Well, I was so circumspect, he was so confused. I don't even think he knew I was buying him off. Watch him come here now and say, yes, I'm your father. What's it worth?
No, at least I know.
Oh, fine. And how are you going to follow in your father's footsteps in the time-honored tradition of the Vietnamese, huh? bang yourself over the head with a board and walk around the Hoyle like a bag lady? You're already weird.
I wanted to be an engineer.
I know you told me. God, what in the deep rocky hell is life supposed to be about, huh? You think you have to be an engineer, you want to be an engineer, then be a damn engineer. You're so strong and there's so much energy and such superhuman talent. I forget how young you are, chicken. Why don't we go on home, huh? It's getting cold. It's going to get dark, and then it's really going to get cold. God, it's so quiet here, huh? I don't think I can let them go. That stupid gasket company's going to need cash so badly, you know? Oh, I bet they'll jump at the chance to sell some of it off. God, I could buy back this whole section, all the way down to Fern Valley.
Shepherdess of the Redwoods.
I never regret telling you that.
You don't have the mill anymore. You couldn't work it.
God, I have the trees.
Could you afford to just have them?
Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't keep something to live on now.
Uncle Barney would hate it.
Oh, God, he would. He loves Key Biscayne. He sees us retiring as the old man in the sea and his old lady. Jerry, never get married. Your whole life is a compromise.
I hunt, fish sometimes. I don't eat garbage. There's a coffee shop place called Wildflower. The lady leaves rolls out sometimes.
They use almost no sugar in their bacon.
I'm sure that's
I built a shelter place because of the rain where I sleep. It ain't bad.
good.
I'm fine.
Good.
Were you really dead?
Yes.
You didn't see the white light?
No.
What did you see?
Nothing.
You have a plastic hip.
Jerry, what have you been telling him? She was on the operating table for 7 hours.
I came close to having one and a steel rod in my spine. I would have if it hadn't been for my heart, really. But the doctor told me you can ask him.
You've been all over. You've probably already seen the maze.
Hampton Court in Middlesex. It works. I tried it.
Your mother sell flowers in Saigon?
We don't know that. We don't know where she came from.
She did.
I grew up in Akron.
Where?
Akron, Ohio, ma'am. My dad had a garage I worked in. I enlisted senior year out of high school. I didn't have no girlfriends. They never said yes or no. There wasn't any square to drive around. We was all jet heads. Drag races. Muscle cars, ride around alone, act like fools. I had a Mustang Boss 302. It was a good car.
Bet you were good.
I won some.
Mr. Fellows, Jerry would like to say something to you.
Why do you live the way you do?
I'm fine. I eat okay, I sleep okay, I don't need nothing else. It don't matter what other people do, that's them. I'm me, I'm okay.
No. No, you're not okay at all.
I held you in my arms. You wasn't any bigger than that. Not a week old. Every village over in Nam got a post in the middle of it for the spirits. They got genies all over. Damn near every village. They do weird stuff. Your mother probably was one. I didn't know.
What was her name?
I heard it. I can't remember that language. She wasn't a kid like you said. She was older than us. She was 25, 30. She didn't come over here like you said. She stayed there.
She's still there?
Probably. You should have told her.
Jerry's mother was described to us as a child of 14 or 15. She knows everything that we know.
I bet I know the girl your mother gave you to bring her over here. She was just some kid. Wanted to come to the States. Probably didn't give her right name. She got $25,000. She did okay. I didn't sign no papers to bring her over here. They shouldn't have used my name.
Are you my father?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
But you know who he is.
You shouldn't have used my name without telling me.
Why did they then?
'Cause the eyes, probably. I don't think you inherit eyes like a husky dog. You're just born with them. Freak of nature never did me any good. I don't want to tell you things you shouldn't know. It don't matter.
Oh, it matters, damn it, it matters a hell of a lot to me.
What do you care where you came from? You know who you are. You're who you are. You're okay. You're almost grown up.
I will turn you into a green jumping toad. I'm not joking.
Don't say that. Actually, I don't think she can. Those things she does have to be beneficial to someone. Some kids in her class wanted to leave early, and she caused a total solar eclipse. A total mass confusion. The teachers still can't talk about it. Am I to understand that you knew Jerry's parents in Vietnam?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't think so at first, except for the flower shop.
And you're not claiming to be her father?
No, ma'am.
But you think you know who he is?
Some things I can remember, some things I don't. Yeah, I know.
You can spot a child out of 40,000 people and recognize her 17 years later.
What did you say the odds was?
1 in 10 million, same odds as the lottery.
They was worried about your eyes.
Why?
Tried to tell them. They was hysterical about it.
Tried to draw everything crazy.
Nobody knew your mother was going to have a kid. She wasn't much bigger than you, but you couldn't tell. She was a stylish woman. She was like the women are over there, the ones with a little money. She was like you think French women would be. She got pregnant. She started wearing those big coats they wear and all. Your dad wanted you and him and your mother to live over there, but they wouldn't let him stay. He was all torn up. He felt things too much, got depressed all the time, lay around, mope around, saddest man I ever knew. He loved you a lot. He was real proud. Some of us was in town. He had us come in the back of the flower shop. He showed you to us. We passed you around. He was real proud. He couldn't bring her over here. He already had a wife in the States, but he had to keep you.
Why didn't he then?
He did! He was okay, except biggest hands of any man I ever shook hands. He was gonna fix it up with the adoption people, so I guess that's what he did. Looks like he would have told you.
God, he couldn't have hurt Julia. He couldn't have told any of us. She would have guessed.
Claire, you knew.
No, no, no. He was in love with her, wasn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was fine till he found out that he couldn't stay there. We've always wondered why he changed so much.
Right, Lyman, he was the saddest man I ever knew.
You didn't want to know. Maybe you learn to leave people alone. He was okay, but he had no business using my name.
Oh, you don't remember my mother's name?
Ma'am,
What? She couldn't keep me there while she was afraid she'd lose the business?
you want people to be perfect. People ain't perfect.
Larry. God, good Lord. And follow in my father's footsteps. I had to vote and pound and drink myself. to
God,
death.
you didn't really know him. God, he wasn't like that before the war.
He didn't drink. Over there, he didn't drink.
What did he do?
He played the piano.
He was a hell of a teacher.
Are you all right?
Told you my mother had a flower shop in Saigon.
Why did we go to Vietnam? You haven't played Japan in such a long time. We could think of something. We could go from there.
Vietnam is hardly a place you just drop in.
I have friends in Australia. You could tour there. I mean, you've needed someone ever since Blair to manage you, and God knows I've got the time.
He played the piano.
Julia hates to tour. I love it.
Julia?
Oh, God. No, she won't be able to take it.
We won't tell her. Lyman? Lyman?
Mr. Fellers?
Where the hell did he go? Lyman!
Jerry, get him back.
Oh, God. Jag hittar en tralita. Jag hittar en tralita. Himan kan chaku tata.
Mr. Fellers!
I don't know no more. No things.
I don't care.
I didn't ask you to talk to me. I don't want people talking to me. I don't know how to be with people. Don't expect things from me. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you.
No.
He wanted to die. He died. Let him die.
Nobody ever dies. In my culture, you're always there.
Don't talk to me anymore. I don't know nothing more about him.
I don't worry about Larry anymore.
I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to be with people.
You have a very strong constitution. You have to be so healthy to be exposed to the elements for so long. They've been good to you.
I don't want nothing from you.
One of the first pieces that Laird taught me is a piece that I would like to play for you. Maybe you've heard him play it before. It was one of his favorites. I think it was because he thought he was related to the composer. But that's true. I guess I'm related to him too. His name was Eric Alfred Leslie Satie, and he was the spiritual godfather of Wessex in Paris. And he wrote a piece where he imagined the gymnasts of ancient Greece practiced their exercises too when preparing for the Olympics. Daddy liked the idea of a girl playing it because, well, women weren't allowed to watch the original Olympics. The athletes performed naked. Any woman who even saw them accidentally was immediately put to death. You have to imagine all these naked men, very serious, standing on a hillside performing a series of exercises in time to the music. And they all have incredible concentration, perfect synchronization.